The legend began on January 1st, 1954 at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. Joe Kirk Fulton became a symbol that would forever be tied to the university. The masked rider led the Red Raider football team onto the field that day, one which led to a 35-13 win over the Auburn Tigers. The win was monumental, but the momentum spawned a program built on tradition. 70 years, 62 riders, 15 horses. The legend and tradition continue to grow.
It never gets old. It's always stimulatory, and it always rises the pride up just to be associated with that animal, that tradition, and how that's linked to Texas Tech.
I think it's just so majestic. The Masked Rider program is so symbolic. I think of what this university means to so many people. It's so iconic, it's majestic, it's spectacular. There's a little mystery to it, and I think fans just gravitate towards that so much.
It was such an honor. It's probably the biggest honor of my life to be a masked rider for Texas Tech. We have such a unique program here, and I think that's a great point of pride, is this program is led so much by the student in that saddle wearing the mask. And we just get the world's greatest students at Texas Tech, and they tend to find their way to this program, which I'm so grateful for.
I remember the first run that we had, getting down there, national anthem, songs started going, and I literally felt his heart beating through the saddle. And it was just like his heartbeat and then mine, and it all just went so fast, and I was like, whoa, this is incredible. And of course he takes it away, and I'm just along for the ride, quite honestly, and it was phenomenal.
Every rider says that the stadium goes dark and silent, and it does. It really does. You know, you're hearing the like dun 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 dun, dun song, and then it went completely silent for me, and it was so iconic and so like surreal that I could feel him running and feel his like hoofbeats on the ground. So it was pretty crazy. And then I remember finishing and putting my guns up and smiling, giving him pets and making sure the football team was behind us still. And I remember getting around to the sideline and looking at Caitlin Wagner, one of our veterinarians, and she looked at me and she like came up and she was like, you did it. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, I did? I was like, oh, that just happened. It's just so surreal. It feels like a dream.
Still kind of makes cold chills run up and down your spine, I guess that old horse I rode, Charcoal Cody, when they go 2 bits, 4 bits, that old horse didn't do anything, but he knew that song, and I mean, he was getting ready to go, and there's just that feeling, when the horse comes out and everybody in the stadium is focused at that moment right on the horse and rider, and that kind of brings everybody just, out of their seats and kind of get the spirit.
We always say in the orientation, if you're going to try out for Masked Rider, this horse is going to become your best friend. On your birthday, on Christmas Day, that horse has to eat and he has to be ridden. And he has to have someone spend time with him. And so it's a commitment like no other. I don't even know if other employees spend as much time with their job as this Masked Rider does with the horse.
The original students, their only obligation or their only was the football games. And so they made, 5, 6 home appearances. Maybe they went on the road a few times. And now these students that are the Masked Rider are making 200, 300, 400 appearances a year.
One of my favorite things I liked to do during my year was sit with him in his stall and do homework. I would just sit on the ground and try, emphasis on try and do my homework, because every time he would stare me down, put his nose on my computer, or put his head right on my shoulder. It was very hard to write papers.
And so the responsibilities are endless, because just when I think I've found everything that I've had to do, there's something new that pops up. So all sorts of things that we're getting to experience together, but it's definitely a lot of hard work, a lot of time spent at the barn. I've realized that my time at home has significantly cut shorter because it's really just there for me to sleep at.
Each year the mask rider will have a moment when he or she's driving the truck to an appearance in Dallas or in Seymour, and they'll stop, and all of a sudden there will be 50 people who stop with them because they see that truck and they see that trailer with all those iconic images, and they know that horse is inside the truck, and they are always just blown away by the response that they get.
You know, when you go to a parade or you have a mask rider come to your elementary school, I think you automatically you feel like you're a part of what we're doing. And I think that's important, and I think that's what draws students. It may be something as seeming as insignificant as, you know, I got to pet the horse at an elementary school, but it stays with those kids and it becomes a part of their mentality and the importance of that contact. I think it's hard to put a true value on what that means to some people.
I've noticed he is very messy. Everyone's like, oh, he's so clean all the time. I've realized he likes to get really dirty in his stall, so when I clean his stall in the morning, he definitely gives me a little workout trying to do that because he does not like to keep it all in one spot. So I've learned he likes to be messy, but it's his personality, it's cute, so. We call him a lot of baby names, like Stink-a-Butt, Sugar Bum. We call him Sugar Bum a lot. So we call him a lot of fun, goofy names. So I think he enjoys it. He's very pampered.
The mask rider elicits so many responses, and I've had grown men cry. They've come up to me and they've talked about seeing it for the first time, bringing their grandsons, their sons and daughters to see it. It represents Texas Tech to them. It is the symbol of Texas Tech.
My first run, I have a video of my whole family in tears, and I've never seen my brother cry, and he was crying. My sister's boyfriend was crying, my dad was crying, so it's really true when people say that. It's just a magnificent thing to watch, and I remember obviously feeling it was an insane thing to feel, and then to be able to see it happen and, you know, look back at the videos was really cool because it is really an emotional thing to look at.
One of the things a lot of people don't realize is when we have the transfer of reins in April every year, it is literally a transfer of reins. You pass over the reins to the horse, the keys to the truck and the trailer, and for the first time in a year you wake up the next morning and you don't have to go feed the horse and pick the stall. And so you sit there and wonder, what do I do with all my time now? But yeah, it's sad to not get to see that familiar face. For me, it was Midnight Matador, who was our longest serving horse in the program and just an exceptional horse in every aspect of the word. I was lucky enough to get to own him in retirement, and giving him a life of leisure after all of his service to Tech has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life.
It's more than just running down the football field. Everybody knows that, and it's amazing. And they want to be there for that. But going and speaking to elementary school kids and having that horse and that cape and mask gives you the opportunity to speak and share really important information and traditions with kids that may not be as interested if you're not on a horse. So it's really cool for those pieces to play in and give you the opportunity to spread the word like that.
It's amazing even though it's probably a little bit more organized and regulated a little bit now, but the thing that tied everyone together was that horse, that experience of saddling up that horse and leading the team out onto the field, and just the iconic nature of that. They all really felt the same, no matter if they were riding all the way around the stadium, if they were riding with the reins in their teeth, if they're doing it like we do it now, the experience is the same, and that's the thing that holds all of them together.
You know, we had riders then that were like rider number 4, all the way up to the current riders, and a really good distribution. And so to hear their takes, to hear their recollections on their experience, and each one of them spoke about some of the significant experiences they had. And so it was really informational, because there's some of these stories that had not been told before, but it was a common theme. You know, the common theme was it was such an opportunity, such an honor.
From my perspective, I rode in 2012, so I'm 11 years out, and I think, oh my gosh, that was so long ago, I'm old. And then you get down there, and I'm a quarter of the way toward the end of the line. You know, I look back and see all these riders that have done it so many years before me, and it's kind of hard to grasp that many people in that many years have held this position and know exactly what each one that followed went through.
It's funny hearing some of these stories that there's a common thread, whether it happened 10 years before or after your time in the saddle. There were some similarities on the appearance you'd go to, and having similar conversations or having similar things happen. It's so funny that we have that common thread through all of that. One thing that is pretty fascinating, but in a way not surprising when you're in the program, is the tie that each of our riders has to horses. I think every rider thinks the horse they rode was the greatest one in the program.
To see how far the program has come, and to see that it's led all the way to me carrying that legacy, is really, really amazing. We just listened to stories all night, and listening to some of the stories, it was just crazy to hear the things that they went through to be able to have a program that we have today. And so meeting Ann Lynch was amazing. I ended up actually having a small connection with her back home. Her niece knew my parents. It's like, what are the odds? And so I feel like I've gained a family, and being able to meet all of them for my second game, and for them to all just come up to me and say, you know, have a good ride, like remember it, and just all the advice they gave me and all the support they gave me, just to see that I have a family of Masked Riders backing me up it was really amazing.
70 years, 62 riders, 15 horses. The legend and tradition continue to grow.